My name is Andy Toorock. I'm a member of the Veterans Advisory Board here in Westborough. And some of the things we do are the Memorial Day Parade, the Veterans Day Parade, a blood drive for veterans. We put the flags at every veteran's grave in the cemeteries in May and take them out in November. We put all the flags that you saw in the Rotary this year. And we have care packages that we send to the men and women overseas that are in combat. So we are sponsoring this today, so I'd like to introduce you to Theresa Perreault, who is the state coordinator for the Quilt of Valor.
Good afternoon. Nice to see everybody here. Beautiful day. We should all do this outside. Anyhow, I am the state coordinator for the Quilts of Valor Foundation. In 2003, a lady by the name of Catherine Roberts had a son who was deployed to Iraq. And one of the things that happened was, you know, as anybody who has had a member go away to a long distance, she was upset, she was despondent, she was worried, as a mom should be, or is. And one night she went to sleep. She ended up having a dream. In this dream, I was told at first that she was walking through the woods, but it's been changed. She was walking through somewhere and she saw a veteran sitting, or a military member sitting on a bed. It turned out to be her son. He was depressed, he was scared, and she wanted to console him. And as magic dreams are, she had a quilt in her hand, a blanket. So what she did was she wrapped it in that blanket. And at that point, she felt better. She woke up the next morning knowing this was her mission. Her mission was to be able to comfort military personnel with something that was going to be tangible, that they could wear, that they could use, that would give them comfort. So Quilts of Valor was born as a grassroots movement. She got together with her ladies. They lived in Maryland. They quilted a few quilts, and they went to Walter Reed Army Hospital. At the hospital, they had half a dozen quilts, and they said to the chaplain, "Could you help us distribute these?" And he said, "I have so many men here, you know, what are 6 quilts going to do?" And she said, "Trust me, it's all mother's intuition." He gave up the quilts, and next day he called her and said how many and how fast, and that's what started the Quilts of Valor movement. We now have over 6,000 groups in the United States that quilt quilts. We have coordinators in all of the 50 states, plus sub-coordinators, because some states are large. And what we do is we get together on Sunday afternoons, Monday nights, or people do it in their own homes, and they take little pieces of material and fashion them into beautiful, beautiful tops. Take those tops, put them together with a warm layer and a backing, give them off to the ladies and gentlemen who have quilting machines. They get quilted and come back to us. Our mission is just as Catherine Roberts' mission is to make sure that we give these quilts out to veterans. There is no special criteria to have been nominated for a Quilt of Valor. All you need to have done is to be touched by war. Most of you who have been touched by war have signed on that oath of enlistment, and that's when Uncle Sam owned you. But we want to give you something very special to make sure that you know that we're saying thank you. I'm going to read you a little bit. First, I'm going to read you a thing about telling you what we feel is a veteran. I was told that this hangs in the Holyoke Soldiers' Home wall. It's called, "It is a Veteran." It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us the freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us the freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble and the right to demonstrate. It is the veteran, not the police, who have given us the right to secure our persons. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag. It is the veteran who serves under the flag, who gave his or her oath to support and defend the Constitution of our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It is the veteran willing to give his or her life to protect your freedoms and mine, whose casket will be covered by the flag. May God bless all of our veterans. As I said, our philosophy is to make sure that we cover all veterans who have been touched by war. I want to take a couple minutes to read what touched by war means. The mission of Quilts of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor. Quilts of Valor's original mission was to cover service members and veterans wounded physically or psychologically with comforting and healing quilts of valor. No one really liked the word psychologically, and U.S. Army Chaplain John Callison suggested using touched by war as a replacement. The Foundation's original focus was on young service members who were wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan. Catherine Roberts, the founder, recalls the light of inclusiveness that she experienced at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Traveling Wall event in 2009. Catherine's group planned to award Quilts of Valor to the OIF and OEF veterans, but none were there. So, Patriot Guard veterans were there to ride past the wall on their motorcycles. They received them instead. Catherine recalls that the Vietnam vet said over and over again, "Ma'am, this is the first time in 40 years anyone has ever thanked me for my service." I have had that experience also, and I want to take the moment right now to thank all veterans for their service. Please understand, thank you and welcome home. From then on, any warrior who has been touched by war, no matter when his or her service, could receive a Quilt of Valor. No questions asked. Some in our community regret the removal of the word combat. Others welcome the change as it provides a way to recognize and honor any service member who has signed the oath of enlistment, vowing that he or she will lay down his or her life for our country and freedoms. The signer promises to defend these enemies from foreign and domestic against all issues. These Americans vow to give their lives for you and me, no questions asked. We cannot judge what being touched by war means to a veteran. It is different for each, depending on when or where they served. A nurse at Landstuhl Air Force Base, Walter Reed, Topeka, Kansas. A nurse or medic at Dover preparing remains for burial. A general serving in the Pentagon, or an infantry soldier serving down in a war zone just down the street. A humanitarian effort at the local armory. As we award these Quilts of Valor today, let us do so not with judgment, but with trust. Trust that these veterans have been touched by war. Those who wear or have worn the uniform are without question the most profoundly affected. What started in 2003 with a few quilts has now risen to over 248,912 quilts as of today, and that came off the system this morning. May we continue to cover as many as we can. Thank you for being here today to honor all of our deserving veterans. Now, Quilts of Valor has started a little process to make sure that we cover all, 400 vets in Westborough? So we're doing them small groups at a time. We feel we have to do it that way because we always have some of those quilts in motion. They are never sitting in a box. They are never sitting on a shelf. They are continually being generated. So we do them in small increments. Every vet will eventually receive a quilt. I have quilts with me today for some of you gentlemen, and I also have something that looks like everybody thinks it's a pillowcase, and it is. But I was told that in the beginning, what happened was some quilts were sent overseas, Iraq, Iran, wherever. And because they were sent overseas, in order for them to be kept in a specific place, what they did was they had to be shipped over there in a presentation case. This is a pillowcase, but it was also at the time a presentation case. It still represents that. What we do is we ask you to use it also. If you don't, we ask you to make sure that you use your quilt. It is totally washable. You get any coffee, drinks, your soup, your sandwich leaks, fine. Throw it in the washing machine, put it on the line if it's a nice day, if you have one, or throw it in the dryer. It becomes cozier and cozier. You can also use the pillowcase. We were told that the pillowcases then were used as presentation cases, and that what they did was they put the quilts into the helicopters. When a particular member was picked up in the field, wrapped in that quilt, it followed him to the field hospital, to the hospitals in Germany or wherever they were shipped, and then followed him home. Helicopters don't always have doors, so lots of wind, so that's where the documentation went. So the pillowcases are not only presentation cases, they were document cases. You can use them whichever way you want. Now, I have also got a certificate for each member. I will read it after we give the members the certificates. And our job here today is to make sure that we show you the quilt, but we would like to wrap the particular member in it. And I have, unfortunately my computer wasn't working correctly, so I have a little error in the names. I have two that I have spelled incorrectly. So each Quilt of Valor has a label and a certificate. I will give you the quilt today, but I will return to make sure that we change the information on it so that it's correct. Anyhow, I have Mr. Chase Libby. Can you come over here? Are you okay? Come on, we'll go to you. No, we can come over here to you. Hang on.
Wow.
This is Mr. Libby's quilt. Pretty.
I know what's going to come with me tonight.
You stand still. We're going to take care of you. You're going to get a great big hug from us with this quilt.
Jump with the camera behind
you. June, I need you to back away the other way. No, go the other way. There we go. That's beautiful. Now, Mr. Libby, I'm sorry to say, yours was one of the names that I crucified, so I'm going to be back to change that and also your certificate. Stand there for a minute. I'll say Chase Libby, United States Army, right?
Right.
Okay. On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, in recognition of your service and sacrifice for this nation, it is a privilege to serve honor and comfort upon you through the award of this Quilt of Valor. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, as a gesture of gratitude from a grateful nation, we award you this Quilt of Valor. I want to say thank you. Leave it on or take it off? Leave it on.
Yeah, he should leave it on.
Right.
Oh, back up some more. We gotta back you up. No, you're a little bit more.
Don't fall.
That was a martini before.
Thank you, Chase, for your service.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're gonna go in seating order. So I have Jack Crane, right?
Right here.
Oh, okay, I didn't go in seating order.
I'll get up.
Can you get up,
I'll
Jack?
get up.
You don't
Yeah,
have
I
to,
can-
we can do-
No, I can stand, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
This is Jack's quilt. There we go. Now, like you
beautiful.
said, you're gonna wear it.
Beautiful. I absolutely am. I'll wear it this afternoon.
Okay. Why don't you sit back down again? Make yourself comfortable.
Where's that chair?
It's
I
there.
got it? Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now, can you stand for a minute?
You got it.
Thank you and welcome home.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, in recognition of your service and sacrifice for this nation, it is a privilege to serve honor and comfort upon you through the award of this Quilt of Valor. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America as a gesture of gratitude, but we give you this from a grateful nation. There's your certificate.
Beside Jack.
Okay.
Oh, you gave me Chase.
I know. Oh, I gave you Chase's? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So you know what? I'm going to have to take a look at the label. Did I give you the wrong quilt? See that? The computer was not wrong either. No, this is John Crane. Okay. Okay.
Jack Crane.
Jack Crane.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, I do these all the time. I don't know why I'm having a problem today, but there you go, Jack.
There it is, Jack Crane, yep.
You all set?
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Okay. Chase, your name was the other one that I made a mistake on, so I will be back to see you two gentlemen. But anyhow, we'll show you your quilt. This way, I'm sorry.
Beautiful.
Easy does it.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably have to.
You'll have to sit right back down again, but that's fine.
Enough with three people.
That's beautiful. Well deserved.
Sure
Well
is.
deserved is correct. Okay, why don't you sit down?
Want to sit down?
You don't want to keep it open, you have to sit down. And I will say, thank you for your service and welcome home.
Thank you.
So now I have here,
That's John Q.
okay, John, yes, yours was the name that I,
That's it, John. He's
Okay.
John, yep.
and I have here, on behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, in recognition of your service and sacrifice and to protect our nation, we award you this Quilt of Valor. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States, we again award you this quilt. Thank you very much.
Big smile.
Smile.
Again, I will be back with corrected labels and corrected certificates, but I'm sure that with talking with Bonnie, I will be back again to do more of the veterans.
Absolutely.
We don't do them in large quantities because we want them to be as intimate as possible. Small quantities make it very, very comfortable for us. I have one other thing that I would like to read before I leave. Again, if you have other members who are not necessarily from this facility, who were military personnel, they are eligible for a Quilt of Valor, and Bonnie can give you my information if you want to have them get a Quilt of Valor. We don't necessarily mean that they have to be here. I go to homes, I go to garages. I've done them in a garage, I've done them in a bar, I've done them in McDonald's, wherever somebody wants to have a quilt done. But I also want to tell you that I have a little poem here that tells you how we feel about doing and making the quilts. A few pieces of cloth from people who care to honor your service. It only seems fair. Carefully chosen materials of red, white, and blue, sewn together for those patriotic and true. A top pieced together with caring and pride, then quilted with backing and a warm layer inside. Each stitch and every seam has been sewn from the very start with the appreciation and gratitude straight from our heart. For you who have sacrificed for those here at home, may this quilt warm and comfort you wherever you roam. Our hope with this quilt is to make sure that you knew we appreciate all you've done and all you've been through. The author is Mary Welch, and she is a Virginia State Coordinator. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone who came to honor our veterans. And please, every time you see a veteran, please say thank you. Many of them feel they have been forgotten, but in reality, they have not. We honor them every single day. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I do want to mention, Andy reminded me, most of the quilts that we make are red, white, and blue, some form of those colors. Occasionally there's a gold in there, occasionally there's an eagle in there, but we do stick with the red, white, and blue to make sure that you know we honor the fact of the flag. Again, please feel free to contact me if you need any other information, but I'm glad to have been here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
you to all of you for coming out and honoring our fellow veterans. And in the future, there will be more quilts for more of our veterans, because we appreciate all your service. Thank you so much. And to these three fine gentlemen, thank you so, so much. Happy
Pleasure to
birthday.
be here.